Hi everyone and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and in today's video I want to share with you how to make these 3 delicious homemade spice mixes. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make 3 delicious homemade spice mixes. This recipe is super easy and this will save you time when it comes to cooking some of your favourite meals. We use a lot of spices in our house and I tend to pull jars and jars out of the cupboard, and I thought to myself the other day, why don't I just make some of our favourites into spice mixes? And I also thought that this would make a really great Christmas present for someone, or just to keep in the cupboard for yourself, so that when you're making your favourite meals you don't have to worry about all of the spices, you've just got them in one pot. For these recipes I brought myself some small spice jars from IKEA, and I have a small mixing bowl, and I also have a funnel that I'm going to use at the end. And now what I'm going to do is mix these spices together. So I'm going to make the Cajun Spice mix first, and for that recipe I am going to need about a tablespoon of smoked paprika. Then I'm going to need a tablespoon of paprika. Then I'm going to need a teaspoon or 2 of cayenne pepper, depending on how spicy you like it. I think I'm going to do a teaspoon to begin with. And then I'm going to need some onion granules for this as well. So I'm going to need about a tablespoon of onion granules. And then I'm going to need a tablespoon of garlic granules as well. And I'm going to mix that together, and I'm also going to use some dried oregano as well, or oregano for this one. And I'm going to use a tablespoon of dried oregano, and I'm going to mix that, and then I'm going to see if this all fits in my lovely little glass jar. So I've got myself my funnel here, and I'm just going to pour the mix. No, the funnel doesn't work, never mind. So I'm going to try and pour the mix into this glass jar. Might be slightly difficult, but I'm just going to keep trying to pour this in. That's the Cajun Spice mix done, and I've just added a little label so I know what it is. And then next I'm going to make some mixed spices. So for this recipe I'm going to need a tablespoon or 2 of ground ginger. So I think I'm going to do 2 tablespoons for that, like so. Just going to use up this jar basically. And then I'm going to need a tablespoon of ground sweet cinnamon, actually 2 tablespoons of ground sweet cinnamon. And then I'm going to need a teaspoon of ground cloves. Now be careful with ground cloves because they are very strong, I have to say. But as we have loads of other stuff in here, it probably won't matter too much. And then I'm going to use a teaspoon of ground allspice as well. And I'm going to use a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And then I'm going to mix those ingredients together, and again I'm going to try and pour this as carefully as I can into the glass jar, trying not to spill any over the sides. And then I'm going to make a final southern spice. So for this recipe I would normally use about 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika, but I've actually run out completely of smoked paprika, so I've only got about a tablespoon there, but I would normally use 2. And then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of mild chilli powder to that as well. It'll still have that smoky flavour to it, so that's all that matters. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon, you can add 2 if you want to, depending on how spicy, again how spicy you like it. I'm going to add a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, And then I'm going to add a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of onion granules. And I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic granules as well. And again, I'm going to mix those ingredients together. And then I'm going to try once more to pour this into this little glass jar as carefully as I can. I really wish that funnel had worked, but unfortunately it didn't. I've just thought I could probably use a bit of paper actually and make that into a funnel, but never mind, I've done it now. So I'm just going to continue to try and pour this as carefully as I can into this glass jar. That's how you make these 3 delicious homemade spice mixes, and these recipes I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be using these in a lot of different dishes this festive season, and I'm really looking forward to that. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll be watching my next video.